Lord Emmeline. My attention is quickly drawn to where Emmeline is, moving between groups of people, introducing herself, making a conversation. I know this will be frowned upon, but Emmeline's safety must come first. I make my way quickly over to Emmeline and curtsy just off to the side, trying to draw as little attention to myself as possible. This is Emmeline. May I have a word? Emmeline is clearly shocked at my intrusion, but she masks as well. Excuse me, it appears my maid has something for me. I draw her closer to the walls where the crowd blocks us from view. I wasn't expecting you to be here, Z. Not that I mind, but won't you get in trouble? There's no time for that. I take her hand in mine and I look at her somberly. You have to watch out for this man in the mask, Sir Alcaster brought him here, brought him to the ball. Well, why should I be worried then? I cannot exactly tell her that I think he is a witch right now. There are too many people looking. Just please be wary of him. I'm sure there's nothing to be worried about from anyone here, Z, especially if Sir Alcaster is involved. On the contrary, if Sir Alcaster is involved, I would also recommend staying on your guard, Emmeline. Oh, he came to support me! Okay, I guess that was the right choice. Rod? I turn in shock to see Rod suddenly standing beside me. You trust the... Excuse me? Oh. I jump back at the sound of Varg's voice. Rod takes a step forward and places his hand on my shoulder to steady me. I don't believe we've been introduced. Varg looks at me for a few moments, but I say nothing. He eventually turns to Emmeline, a wolfish smile on his face. My name's Varg, and you must be Princess Emmeline. The tale of your beauty did not do you justice. Emmeline flushes as Varg reaches for her hand. He presses a kiss to the back of it, still grinning. I can feel Rod tense behind me. May I have the first dance? Emmeline bites down on her lower lip as she stares at him, and become acutely aware of just how quiet the throne room has become. She cannot refuse him with so many people watching her. I feel sick, but cannot bring myself to say anything more as Emmeline puts her hand in Varg's. I accept, Lord Varg. The moment Emmeline makes her way to the center of the dance floor, a man signals to the band and the musicians start playing. This feels wrong. I can only nod as I watch Varg pull Emmeline closer. At first it was just he and Emmeline dancing, but then other couples gradually trickle in. Do we have to dance again? I do not like this at all. Rod and I watch in silence as the first dance continues on. I know for a fact that Rod must see the dreamy smile on Emmeline's face as certainly as I can. She likes him? Why? When the music stops, both of us move as one towards Emmeline. Even though the dance is over and Varg has released her, they still stand close together in the center of the room. The silence interrupted when the double doors open and Sir Alcaster, along with two knights, stalk into the center of the room where Emmeline and Varg stand. Their arrival causes an uneasy stir in the crowds. The king rises from his throne, eyebrows drawn. Alcaster, is there some kind of disturbance? Alcaster says nothing as the knights stationed around the room approach Emmeline and Varg and stand around them, encircling them. Emmeline's expression shifts from confusion to fear. The crowd becomes even more anxious. Alcaster, explain this. Alcaster briefly glances at him but says nothing. He turns back to his knight and snaps his fingers. The knights pull out their swords and point them at Emmeline. No. Em! I reach out to grab Rod's hand before he can make his way towards her. Rod, it's too dangerous. I know, but thoughtless actions have the potential to put Emmeline in even more danger. Rod's only response is to tighten his grip on my hand. I place my other hand over his to reassure him, and I slowly but surely his grip begins to loosen. I turn my gaze to the king. Alcaster, stop this immediately. What do you think you're doing? It's a coup! Something I should have done a long time ago. I've been nothing but loyal to this kingdom, and all I have ever wanted was Angiel to thrive. But ever since the queen died, this kingdom has become weak. It's because you are a weak ruler, Gennaro. What? The people were more productive back then, more disciplined during the late queen's reign. The kingdom has become less productive without fear to drive them. When there is power, there is order. Power is not something that should be needlessly used to control people. It is used to protect them. You of all people should know that. Sir Alcaster shakes his head. I, of all people, know that order is what makes the hierarchy stronger. I'm only doing what is necessary. I'm reorganizing the system. Hand over the crown, Gennaro. Sir Alcaster turns his head to Varg, who remains standing beside a scared Emmeline. You will obey me if you do not want your precious daughter harmed. Please, leave my daughter out of this. Emmeline steps back, her eyes now brimming with tears. Varg, seize the princess. As soon as Sir Alcaster gives the order, Rod immediately lets go of my hand and rushes towards his sister. Rod, no! I quickly follow after him, but Rod suddenly stops in his track. I bump abruptly into his back. Rod? Varg! Sir Alcaster's booming voice echoes around the room, which is suddenly gone eerily silent. My eyes move to Varg, but he is standing motionless. What is happening? Finally, Varg smirks. He steps to the side, standing in front of Emmeline, as if to block her from view. Sir Varg? You must be delusional, old man. I'm not letting you anywhere near the princess. Yo, we knew he was good. Never had a doubt in my mind. Nope. The knight's next movement are a blur as they rush at Sir Alcaster in mere moments. He's been disarmed and pinned to the ground. Several more knights have also appeared from around to surround Sir Alcaster. A man emerges from in between the circle of knights. He moves to stand beside Varg and Emmeline. Sir Mithras looks at Sir Alcaster disdainfully. What is the meaning of this, Mithras? We had a deal. The anger is now palpable in Sir Alcaster's flushed face. Did we now? Mithras, explain yourself. Sir Mithras drops to one knee in front of the king. Of course, your majesty. He raises his head slightly to look at the king. I have known for a long while that the man you see before you is a traitor. I was even aware of his plans, but I could not tell you of them without any evidence. 2 of your knights had tried to inform you of these plans before, but we all looked down on them with disdain. I had to make sure that I did not come unprepared like they did. Jurian and Garland. What, both of them knew of Sir Alcaster's plan? Is that the reason why they were dishonorably discharged for false accusations? I knew enough of his plan that I could thwart it. This is why I thought the best way to reveal his dastardly ways was to craft a fake alliance with him. Sir Varg and I have been working together to unravel Alcaster's plans. Your Majesty, Varg is an invaluable accomplice. Wait, so Sir Mithras has been pretending to work with Sir Alcaster this whole time? And so we arrive at the events of tonight. I apologize for undertaking this task without seeking your counsel, Your Majesty. But I could think of no better way to end this madness once and for all. You lying snake! Sir Mithras stands and turns to Alcaster. He gestures at him dismissively. Seize him. The knight's next movements are a blur. The men rush Sir Alcaster all at once, and in mere moments, Sir Alcaster has been disarmed and is now pinned to the ground. Isn't Sir Alcaster a witch? Why is he not using his magic? Mithras, I am indebted to you for saving us. The whole kingdom is. I only did what was necessary, Your Majesty. The king glances at the knights, then at Sir Alcaster, his gaze serious. What was that word? His gaze steely. Take him away. Sir Alcaster struggles uselessly against the knights as they drag him away. He is nearly out the door when he starts screaming at the king. Gennaro, you are a fool. That man is a witch, a snake. You cannot trust him. No, Alcaster, I was wrong to put my trust in you. Even as Sir Alcaster is pulled from the room, we can hear him babbling in the hallways about a witch. Wait, so did that not go the way we thought it would go? Because apparently, whatever that Mithras was a witch. And the other guy's not, so maybe. But he was trying to do. I'm so confused. Sir Alcaster never used any magic escape. Was he truly not a witch? Are you alright, princess? I'm pulled from my thoughts when I hear Varg's voice. He's now trying to comfort a shaken Emmeline. For a few moments, he looks away and his eyes meet mine. He smiles, but it is fleeting, and moments later, his attention is back on Emmeline. The ball comes to an abrupt end after Alcaster's done. He is thrown into a jail cell and promised a trial after a few days' time, where he will be tried for a treason against the kingdom. I still can't believe Sir Alcaster would do something like that, and so brazenly, too. I wonder, what happened to Sir Fitzgerald? They say he vanished completely last night. Oh yeah, remember at the beginning when she said he was like cute to her friend? Oh, that'd be cute if they actually ended up together. I thought he was actually an option, but I guess not. Do you think he was working with his father? The truth is, I have no idea what to think. I had thought that I had everything figured out, but now I've become more and more confused by the moment. Fritz was always loyal to a fault, but then Sir Alcaster was the same with the king, and I have not seen or heard of Fritz for weeks. How are they so dumb? I cannot really say. Good morning, Princess Emmeline. Sir Varg. Varg was offered a room at the palace for a few days' visit. He is being treated as Sir Mithras' valued guest. I have heard from the other servants that he is Sir Mithras' relative who lives in a neighboring kingdom. I hope that you're feeling well now, princess. Yes, thank you for your help last night. Is Emmeline blushing? Yeah, because she knows that's the night that she's a crush on. I know I won't be here for long, but I do hope to get to know you better during the duration of my stay. I would love that. Then I'm looking forward to spending more time with you. Oh, I forgot that I meant to be in my mother's room right now. See, Sir Varg? I'll see you both later. I curtsy and Emmeline walks off, leaving me alone with Varg. I cannot help but feel uneasy at his presence. Something about him puts me on edge. Makes me feel uncomfortable. Excuse me, I have errands to attend to. Wait. Before you head out, I have something to give you. Give me? Varg reaches out into one of his pockets and withdraws a letter that he holds out to me. What is this about? Well, I guess you'll have to open it and find out, princess. My blood turns to ice in my veins. He knows I'm the princess? That can only mean that he is... I have no idea what you're talking about, excuse me. I'm about to leave when Varg suddenly grabs my wrist. The play is just about to start, princess. Your responsibility as the main character to perform impeccably until the very end. Yo, what are you talking about now? You're breaking the story. If anything, it would seem like Emmeline was the main character, not me, but okay. Otherwise, well, he grins at me. It's the same wolfish smile that he flashed at me during the ball. I miss out on your fairy tale ending. What? Before I can say anything else, I feel a hand grip my other arm. Someone tugs me back away from Varg. He comes to stand in front of me. Stay away from him. Rod? Varg looks at Rod, then at me, his smile growing more crooked. What an interesting turn of events. I wonder how this will end for the both of you. Tell me, Z, what is he to you? I feel like we don't say he's a friend. Oh, we know we do with the ... No answer, Deny all you want. At the end of the day, you're going to have to decide who and what you will choose. Who or what to choose. It was the right choice! I'm so smart. Silence! You are harassing one of our staff members. Of course, I apologize for my rude behavior, Your Highness. You seem to know a lot about us. Are you a... I lower my voice. Are you a witch? You're asking the wrong princess. You're asking the wrong person, princess. He knows who you really are. I think you two are worrying too much about me, after all. I'm just a pawn in this game. Varg dips into an elegant bow and flashes one last smile before walking away. Are you alright? I am. Thank you for helping me. You know I'd do anything for you. Oh my god, he's so honest now. What? What? I don't even know how to do that. What? Rod shakes his head before stepping away. Anything? For me? Rod coughs, pulling me from the thought. It is possible that he is a witch, or that he is working with other witches, but we have no evidence to prove it. Until we figure out what's going on, you need to be wary of him. I know. Rod smiles at me gently. The look makes my heart thud once, painfully in my chest. Stop staring at me like that. Rod looks away, his cheeks tinged red. I feel my own cheeks warm at the sight. I wasn't staring at all. Both of you are hopeless. Shut up, Sebi. Rod gives me one last look before finally turning and walking away. I place my hand over my chest where I can still hear my thudding heartbeat. This feeling. If it is what I think it is, then I have no right to feel that way about him. He is my stepbrother. No! Why are you gonna keep reminding us? Oh. I shake my head to clear the thought, then glance down at the letter that Varg just delivered to me. There's only one sentence written on it. Come to the throne room alone tonight. I'm scared. I'm actually so scared. The wedding! Whose wedding? The throne room is empty when I arrive. I can only hope that this is not some sort of trap. Soon after I enter, the door squeaks open and a familiar face enters the room. Sir Mithras? Sir Mithras walks towards me. When he is close enough, he drops to one knee and bows. I frown as I take a step back from him. My princess, do not be alarmed. I know of your true identity. Sir Mythos flashes me a wide smile that causes a shudder to run down my spine. You know who I am? Then that means that you are a... I take another step back as the blood drains from my face. Sir Mythos smiles only widens at my reaction. I'll say it for you. Yes, I am a witch. If you're a witch, then Sir Alcaster is a mere human, a fool one. And Varg? Nothing but my personal errand boy. A thought suddenly occurs to me. Sir Alcaster was plotting against the kingdom. Did Sir Mythos also punish Fritz somehow? What about Fritz? Was he a part of Sir Alcaster's plan? Ah, the knight. To avoid confusing him, let's just say that the situation surrounding him is too complicated to adequately explain. I mean, honestly, it's not that hard to explain. I command you to answer my question. Sir Mythos, was Fritz a part of this? If it makes you feel any better, he refused to be a part of this. He refused? Does that mean that he was not a part of the plans, or just that he was willingly forced to participate in them? I'm certain that Sir Alcaster would not be happy that his own son was disobeying him. He either forced him to help or assigned him outside of the palace. But if Fritz knew of Sir Alcaster's plans, why did he not warn anyone about them? Was he working with Sir Mythos as well? More questions swirl in my head, but none of them have answers. When this is over, I will personally ask Fritz about this, once I can locate him. I shake the thought away and bring my attention back to Sir Mythos. Why bother with this reveal? What do you hope to gain from him? Before we start our conversation... Oh? Excuse me? Sir Mythos waves his hands, conjuring a faint green glow that envelops the whole room. Just in case someone decides to eavesdrop, I wouldn't want any of your witch friends listening in on us. Yes, I'm aware that one of them has been snooping around the palace these past few months. Their snooping has made it more difficult to move around without exposing myself. Sir Mythos licks his tongue in annoyance. Such a nuisance. He's referring to Delora. She and Parfait warned me before that there was a witch in the palace. Is Sir Mythos truly that witch? I never really trusted him, not even when I was a princess. Now that he has revealed himself as a witch, I need to know what he plans on doing. You knew that I was a princess the entire time, yet you never offered me any assistance. If I had, Alcaster would have targeted you as well. What? Alcaster wanted to dispose of the royal family. If he had known you were the princess, he would have been after you too. But he called us a princess earlier. Are they just gonna... Is that just a cheat in the narrative? Like in Frozen, when Hans falls off the boat and he smiles after Anna leaves? And that's totally a cheat in the thing, because then it makes you think he likes her. But he totally... Or likes her, but he totally didn't. Is that another cheat in the narrative that you're doing here? It would have been easier if no one remembering you as the princess. But unfortunately, Fritz told his father about you. Who he told his father? Never mind, they explained it better than Frozen already. Thinking that Alcaster might be able to help you and protect you. And it didn't help that Varg confirmed it. Your mother wouldn't have been happy with me if I put you in harm's way. That is why I had to pretend not to know you in order to protect you. Sir Mythos is silent for a few moments before he speaks again. Revealing myself to be a witch was necessary. I had to make myself appear useful to Alcaster somehow after all. Then of course, I learned of his foolish plan to steal the crown and decided to thwart them, though not before I stole something from Alcaster first. I played him like the fool that he was. I told him I would aid him with my magic so long as he gave me the knight's protection. Using magic is almost impossible in this place, so having the knights to back me up was crucial. The knights? What does he need the knight's protection for? What are his plans? Sir Mythos starts pacing the room, his expression still calm. I found that they planned to dispose of me after he obtained what he needed, so I disposed of him first. Alcaster might have been able to convince most of the knights to aid him by promising them promotion, but well, my magic is far more convincing. Sir Mythos stopped in front of me, his deadpan expression transforming into a smile. For now, let us desist speaking of my plans. The minute Alcaster's plans were thwarted, I knew I had to contact you direct. I'm happy to see you in the palace, Your Highness. Although, we really need you to get out of those clothes soon. A maid's clothing does not fit a princess like yourself. It does not matter. My priority right now is to break my curse. Of course, you must truly have been frightened to feel the need to curse you. I feel an uncomfortable tug in my heart. To think that the loosest bearer would actually allow a witch to curse you. Sir Mythos shakes his head, disgust written on his features. When you suddenly disappeared that day, it was as if traces of your existence had vanished. I searched for you endlessly, Princess. When you first appeared here in the palace, I did not recognize you immediately, but I felt a touch of magic in you and investigated. Oh, so he's not like a strong enough witch then. My curiosity is what prompted me to investigate you further. When I tried hard enough, I found that I could see through the glamour that has been cast on you. So Sir Mithra truly was the witch Parfait was referring to when she mentioned someone seeing through the glamour. Imagine my surprise when I found out that it was actually you. That fairy bearer had been nothing but a nuisance to us witches. First she betrayed your mother, and then she betrayed you before she had ever met you. But mother, she was the Tenenbaum bearer, corrupted by darkness. Parfait only did what she had to. Sir Mythos looked at me clearly surprised. What lies have those people been whispering in your ears? Everything the queen did, she did for us witches, to protect us from the wicked humans who destroyed our kind. It is clear to me where Sir Mithras' alliances lie. Sir Mithras sighs, runs a hand through his hair, and then continues speaking. On your 18th birthday, you will follow her footsteps. You will make this kingdom a place for all witches to prosper. I am nothing like her. I refuse to make people suffer to fuel the crystal. I never bore witness to the suffering the people had to go through during my mother's reign, but the stories are enough to reveal her true nature to me. It was hard to believe at first, but those people do not have any reason to lie to a servant like me, like myself. They have nothing to gain from it. I finally understand why the hatred people had for me ran so deep. Even when I did nothing to them, it was because I was the witch's daughter. Your mother wouldn't be happy to hear you say that. Let me assure you that this is not a destiny you can run from, dear princess. I will not let destiny take control of my life. I feign tiredness by releasing a long yawn. I'm sorry for cutting you short, Sir Mithras, but please excuse me, I'm getting tired. I'm about to walk past Sir Mithras when he starts speaking again. His voice becomes a low whisper. I notice that you've gotten closer to the family you so despised before, the prince included. I narrowed my eyes at him. You care about him, don't you? I must confess that this surprises me, princess. Such a relationship would certainly be a scandal. Even if you two are not blood related, he is still your stepbrother. Whatever will your dear father say about this? I clench my fist. He has no right to lecture me. I already know that these feelings are wrong. I know that I cannot have them. I assure you that there is nothing between the both of us. Oh, is that so? Are those lies you uttered just to convince yourself? This man is beginning to try my patience. Allow me to share a little secret with you, princess. I'm not interested. I head for the door and reach for the knob. Oh, but I think it is something you would be most curious about. I do, after all, know the consequences of the prince failing to break his curse. I also happen to know that someone special to him is getting married tomorrow. My hand freezes. Oh yeah, they're getting married. I'm so stupid. How do you know about all of this? Oh wait, how do you know about all this? I know all of this happening around this place. It's my job, princess. Now tell me, do you know the ending of the fairy tale, The Little Mermaid? My blood ran cold when I remembered what Emmeline told me about the fairy tale. If the prince fell in love and married someone else, the little mermaid's heart would break and would dissolve into sea foam. I conducted my own investigation and actually met the witch who bestowed the curse on the prince. In meeting her, I found out everything there is to know about it. I turned to regard Mithras with a frown. It seems I have finally gotten your attention. What do you plan on doing to Rod? Sir Mithras shrugs. To him, nothing really. I was merely curious. I wanted to know what you saw in him. What do you know about his curse? It stays true to the fairy tale. Only in this case, the prince gives up his voice for a title. Still, it will end the same way. The girl will fall in love with someone else despite his sacrifice. You mean? On his beloved wedding's day, the prince will die. I had thought you might have reached the same conclusion. Tragic, don't you think? I had the same thought, but is Rod truly going to die? So the reason Rod gave up breaking his curse was because he knew that Viorica would never love him back. He knew that he was going to die the moment Viorica married. Dread begins to wash over me. Why not ask him yourself? As if orchestrated by magic, the double doors open and Rod steps inside. When he sees me, his expression relaxes. I've been looking all over for you. I wanted to speak with you about my discussion with Lady Parfait. I turn around to see Sir Mithras once again, but to my surprise, he's already gone. When did Sir Mithras leave? Is something wrong? Was Sir Mithras really speaking the truth?